This video is made possible by our patrons.
Hello and welcome to Wargamer Online. We're live. Just not the models over. So welcome and thanks for joining us, everybody. This is a quick live show to look at Fury of the Deep. I was away this weekend, so we had the review copy, but we didn't have a chance to pre-film anything. But we thought we'd have a look at the box. We have had some fun with the models already, and we thought we'd go through. As you know, I play both Idoneth Deepkin and Fyreslayer, so for me this is an awesome box. You've just picked up Idoneth Deepkin.
Well, yeah, I've started playing your Idoneth Deepkin at least.
So you've got Sheffield Slaughter coming up? A couple of weeks?
Yes. Yeah, might be doing Idoneth.
50-50 Idoneth Deepkin, I think, is a fair assessment of the situation.
Most likely.
Hello, David Ellis. Good to see you, mate. Alejandro and Jay Derthu. Good name, Derthu.
Yeah.
And David Ellis is in there. I grabbed some Idoneth allies for my Lumineth and then grabbed to start collecting Idoneth instead of 3 heals I wanted. So I guess I'm doing Idoneth as well now. Very tempted by this box.
It's
good box.
A very good box.
Good box. Good box. We can say that already.
Yeah, I mean, the value of it's insane because just half of it, you actually... So I think the box is something like 90 quid, and I think... all half of the box's models come to about just over 90 quid, so you're basically getting half free, which you can then sell or split with your mates. So it's an amazing deal, as usual with these boxes, which is always nice to see. So it always gets people into the arms.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. How's our? By the way, just a quick one. How's our audio? I just did a quick tweak on it because we seem to be topping out. But let me know if the audio is okay. We had to do a quick change of mics because there's always a little bit of tech fail at the end there. Beard Hammer's in there. Have to watch this later. Well, we'll see you later, Beard Hammer. I'll put a message in for you, just for you later to catch. Ironically, I play on Dwarden, so the name does not fit. You guys have fun, says Beard Hammer. Why don't we get into this box and have a look at it? I'm hoping this camera will work. Here we go. Yeah, it is working. Well, it's a box. It's a mid-sized box, if you're wondering. Woo! Not the super thick ones, not the super fat ones. But there's plenty in there. So I'm just going to throw stuff out of the way, I think, maybe. Oh, just throw that on the floor like crazy. Usual cover to protect things. We have, as I've said, been through this box already. So that's welcome.
New War
Super
Scroll
welcome.
cards.
Super welcome War Scroll cards for units. I will take those every day. Instructions, core rule set, and the pack in there as well. But we'll have a look in that in a second. And then there's nothing new about the models outside of the characters, which we are going to talk about. Audio is fine, thanks to the bod. So we have a shark in there. Always welcome to have another shark. They're strong.
Yeah, that takes us to 5 Alapexes
now. 5 Alapexes, which I think is about right.
Probably.
If you haven't got 5 sharks, you're one
their
shark
new
down.
stat line, it's interesting.
Half guard. I'm pretty happy about the half guard.
Yeah, I think
because I had to butcher a couple of units together, so I'm super happy to get some extra
10 half guard in there. 10 Volkite
Berserkers and more Volkite Berserkers. Good to have bearded fellows all along. This is what I'm really excited about. Currently got 40 Thralls.
We've currently got 40 Thralls and 20 Reavers.
This takes me to 50 Thralls. I think I'm going to add another 10. Take me to 60 Thralls. Seems reasonable. I have 20 Reavers, 30 Reavers. I think another 10 Reavers. I think I'm looking at 2 units of 20 Reavers.
Oh yeah.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
We'll talk about that fun that's coming.
They've had some updates which has made everything slightly better. So
we're not going to talk about those models too long. They're pre-existing. They've been out. Everybody knows those models. I'll be honest with you, they're good models. The Reavers are beautiful models. Not often seen on the tabletop.
No, and I think you might be starting to see them now.
Extremely dynamic posers.
They're really nice. They've kind of they've got that full body, but they're all like jumping and leaping everywhere. They're a really cool stealth archer.
Any elf archer hitting on 4s just don't make the table. I'm just
here we go.
Here we go. We'll talk about that shortly, shall we? So swoosh.
Throw that out the way.
Throw that out of the way. But what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the contents of. Whoa, there we go. So we've made those 2 guys up, which we're going to come back to in a second. We're also going to be taking a look at the War Scrolls one at a time. But before we get into the War Scrolls, I want to give some time to the pack.
Mini Rulebook, which I love. They're really good for like tournaments and stuff. So
Can't beat it. Always good to
Can't
have in your pocket
complain,
for tournaments
just
for
to
that
flip
quick
through.
reference. I wonder if it's updated artwork. You know, when you get like FAQs and stuff like that. I haven't actually checked whether the FAQ is inclusive. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check on that.
Do you want me to check whilst you're talking about the other?
You can do, yeah. Okay, instruction manual, Fury of the Deep. We've got how to build everything that's in the box. This is what I was talking about, the super dynamic poses that you get with the Reavers. To be honest, Thralls are a solid kit as well, by the way. I absolutely love the Thrall kit.
Thralls are nice.
It was the unit that actually attracted me to Idoneth Deepkin, above and beyond the fishes and all the rest, those kind of things.
It's not updated with the FAQ.
That's a shame, but it's still useful. It's still useful to have. Okay, command points, seek shelter, objective markers. So all of this, of course.
I like that you've got like army-specific 9-inch measures as well. I like that.
Yeah, because if I'm right, the dwarven 9-inch measure is slightly shorter. But
should only go up to 4, really.
Oops, I just ordered the box. Anybody who wants some Fyreslayers, give me a shout. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, where do you live? All right, look, I'm going to leave that open to the chat. But
I think Dirthu's trying to sweep in there with the Fyreslayer steel.
I can't use a live stream as an excuse to pick up some more Fyreslayers, can I?
No, you've got plenty of Fyreslayers.
I didn't want more Fyreslayers.
No,
it's the elves I wanted. Okay then, into the pack, we got the Fortress of Acid Sea, the Boiling Depths, the Realm of Fire, a Legion of Fire and Ocean, Idoneth Deepkin. You quick on the fluff on this one. I'm not going to go through the whole book, but it's a nice little campaign pack.
Yeah,
it's pretty mean of the Idoneth Deepkin. I mean, the background. Do you know the background?
No.
So the background is the Fyreslayers are pretty much on their last legs anyway. Yeah, they've been attacked on all fronts.
Haven't like Skaven bombed them or something?
They're in real trouble, and they've been like they're flooding. The ocean is flooding into their fire keep and putting all their fires out and those kind of things. And the Idoneth Deepkin, wonderful chaps that they are, chaps and chapesses that they are, go, oh, those guys look all dead. Let's rescue their souls.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, haven't you?
So they pile in there just to basically not rescue the Fyreslayers themselves, but rescue their souls. Because obviously the souls will just go to waste if they go to chaos.
Exactly.
So you kind of just need to get in there and hoover those souls up as fast as possible. There is some stunning artwork in this dedicated to this release as well.
I like his new eel, which kind of has a very moray eel head look to it. Very strange.
Moorish. Two new characters fighting it out face to face there. I do love how the Nemerati look. You know, that kind of
squinting,
super tough dudes. And this crazy Alapex just ripping stuff apart. I love that dynamic pose.
With the dwarf having a go at him,
yeah. Well, yeah.
I'd lost an arm.
I mean, there's half a dwarf there.
Yeah, there's half an arm. Dwarf with no arm, still going to give it a hit with his axe.
Everybody's after David Ellis's models. Big Tom says there are a lot of Elraisers now getting naughtier and naughtier. I wonder what an elvish split from Order could happen in years to come. Well, we'll see. All elves are jerks. Oh, okay, that's been Durfu. Your jerks has been auto hidden, and the mouse is too far away for me to sort that out. Otherwise, I'd allow it. And I play elves, so there you go. Some cool background fluff into the new characters, those kind of things. Nice little artwork again, and then we are into essentially the custom missions. So we've got the realm rules. Yeah,
you've got some custom realm rules here, which is quite cool for the region of war. So if you're wanting to do a bit of narrative play, and to be honest, even if you're not following the missions out here, if you're doing some like Path to Glories or something, and you just want to add something a bit extra to some of the battles, then you've got some like this. So you've got special magic and like Realmscape features again. So it's always some fun to throw in there if you want to have something different.
I mean, it's pretty mental. If an attack by melee weapons inflict damage on a unit on the battlefield, add 1 to the number of wounds allocated to the unit. So it's just +1 wound, but which against the big unit doesn't make any difference against the character.
Yeah,
you know, wow.
Yeah, a little bit of chip damage.
Some cool stuff.
Yeah,
I like it. Missions are crazy.
Specific missions, yeah. I don't know whether, because, you know, it says the Fyreslayer and the Idoneth army restricts you to the actual armies in the box, but I wonder, I haven't really read through them, but you'll probably be able to, like, customize it so you could do it with bigger armies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think this is the thing. Of course, it's designed to play what's in the box. If you've got the book, you've got the models anyway, you get them built.
Yeah.
But you're right, of course, it's aimed at what's in the box and playing the missions out. There's, I mean, no harm with you swapping some of the units out, working out. It's narrative play anyway, so go for what you like. But some great little missions in there, and we'll come back to profile, shall we? Because they're in there.
You can do it now.
Right, should we talk about the 2 models first before we jump into the cards?
Yeah, just do the models.
Yeah, just having a look at the models. So we've put these 2 models together briefly. The character for the Idoneth Deepkin.
The Akhelian Thrallmaster.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice, isn't it?
He's like bristling with weapons all over him.
Yeah, and
his
that's
spear, his weird hook, his double blades on his back.
And that's one of the reasons we wanted to show the model, really. There's so much going off on this guy. Really dynamic pose. It just looks very, very cool. I really like him.
I think the idea of the 3 weapons is the stances that he uses to fight. Each weapon represents a different stance and stuff, and he has all these different fighting styles.
Well, yeah, I mean, should we talk about this? The fighting stance, at the start of combat phase, you must pick one of the following stances for a unit to use. Each effect lasts until the end of the phase. So let's kick in with the war scroll for this a second, if we can. Whoa, wrong camera. Sorry, there you go. Let's zoom in on this for you guys. There you go. So we're seeing the back there. So the ways of the depth, you can re-roll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit, and thralls. Or Nemerati, units only with 12 into the unit.
It's pretty big. Reroll 1s in this day and age is quite huge. I could see using him and a Leviathan to get your thralls on like 2s, rerolling 1s. So you're pretty much hitting everything with the thralls, which is really good.
Yeah.
What have you got? Wave the Riptide, which gives Nemerati exploding 6s. Again, that's really good if you're playing like Futan or something where you've already got reroll 1s. Then going for this and getting exploding 6s on Nemerati is pretty big because they do throw a bucket of attacks out.
It's huge.
And then there's a defensive one way of the Vortex, which is subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks that target this unit and friendly Nemerati units wholly within 12. So again, really good because you get to pick these each combat phase. You can really tailor it. So if you're charging in on turn 3, then you're like, right, I want reroll 1s to hit. I want everything to be going through as I fight first. If you get in charge, then you can go for the -1 to wound to try and keep them alive a bit longer.
I mean, check out that little weapon on his right leg there. It's like double-handed little knife.
Hook pick.
Yeah, it's a weird little hook. I mean, maybe that's the defensive one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, yeah.
Who knows?
They're just his esoteric weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Esoteric weapons. 5 attacks, 3s to hits, 3s to wound, -1 rend, 2 damage.
He's pretty decent.
I think he's fairly decent. I have to say, when I saw the preview images of this model, wasn't super keen on the headdress. Having seen the actual model in hand, it's far less like, you know, overall
prominent.
Yeah, prominent. It looked huge on the model. I think it was just the angle of the photo. So actually it's really sweet. I kind of said to myself when I saw the model, first thing I'm going to do is probably cut that headdress off, or even change the head. But having seen it, I'm happy with it. Okay.
For J Deathu, do they stack? I mean, it doesn't say they doesn't. So it doesn't say they don't. That's what I wanted to say. So I think if you took 2 of them, you could go for like Way of the Depths, Way of the Riptide, which is weird because normally you have like with the Sloppity Biopiper that 1 unit can't be affected by 2 stances. Yeah. So I don't know whether they're going to FAQ that later, but for now, I mean, yeah, you can use both of them.
It might get FAQ'd, it might not, but the point is, and I think this is the important line at the moment, it says at the start of the combat phase you pick 1 of the following stances for this unit to use.
Yeah, it's for this unit.
So it's for this unit, it's not type, so...
Each effect lasts, yeah. I don't know, at the minute, no they don't. Sorry, at the minute, yes, they do stack. So.
Which is huge.
Yeah, which is quite big.
But also similar to the Fyreslayer. which and that stacks within a single model, but we'll come on to that as we get there. Talking of Fyreslayers,
the Auric Flamekeeper.
Yeah, the Auric Flamekeeper. I think I've got him somewhere here.
Hope so.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Okay, so
he's very chunky.
Single-handedly, I have to say the best Fyreslayer character they've released so far.
Yeah,
In terms of design, aesthetic.
I really like his helmet and his plaited braided beard instead of the weird frizzy beards they usually have.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got a right old plump belly as well.
There's a bunch of stuff going off in terms of the aesthetic that I really like. One, the plume on the helmet, much finer strands rather than what you see on some of the other models, basically. Finer individual strands with gaps in between them. The dimensions of the model seem to make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
He's still got a bit of a belly. He's still going off, but he looks kind of, almost like the Lord of the Rings dwarves. Looks a little bit kind of more proportionate. Less sort of chubby round. I think you can see it on that angle there.
He's got that gut plate on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the big
I
old
think
gut
that
plate.
makes it more prominent than it actually is.
There's a lot going off. It feels like there's a lot of...
the brazier is a lot nicer in the axe. And with almost the hollow axe blade as well. It looks really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot going off that seem to take elements from different releases from the Fyreslayers or different units from the Fyreslayers and combine them together. So you've got the kind of the lava scale cloak and those kind of things, and the big pot belly. But it works for me. What I really like, I quite like the face mask.
Helmeted fate. The mask.
Super happy to see almost all Fyreslayers like that. I think it gives them kind of
the angry war mask.
Yeah, there's just something about it, and it it exactly. I don't know why, but it seems to change the feel of the model quite significantly. But
well, just quickly, DJ the Lucky One asking, is he a named character? No, none of these are named characters, so you can take as many as you want.
He's a totem, though. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, so 18-inch aura on command abilities, which is nice. We should say, do you want me to say the points for these ones?
Oh, go for it,
So the Akhelian Thrallmaster is coming in at 110 points, so you could definitely take multiples of them. This dude's coming in at 80 points.
Take 8.
Cheap as chips.
6 of them. As Dirthy suggested. With the Flamekeeper, theoretically you can get 6 of them and have a half guard
unit on
8 damage.
Well, that is because... So the Auric Flamekeeper has the Master Flame Room. So when he's set up, you put a dice next to him, which is on a 1. And every time a Fyreslayer model is slain within 12 inches of him, you increase the value of that dice by 1 to a maximum of 6. So you need to get 5 Fyreslayers to die within 12 inches of him to get him to his max 6. Once you're there, you can expend at the start of the combat phase those points, taking him down to 1. And pick one friendly, either Hearthguard or Vulkite Berserkers or Auric Hearthguard, and apply one of the following effects. You have a 6-up ward. Nah, that's not great because most things have a 4-up ward anyway. Grimnir's Wrath, which is fight before you die, which Vulkites have, but putting it on Hearthguard could be quite good. Grimnir's Resolve, which is huge. That's immediately attempt to charge. That's massive. And it's such a slow army being able to slingshot forward and charge.
It's just any ability that gets you doing something in your opponent's turn is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that with the Age of Sigmar 3 anyway, the ability to overwatch. All the command abilities.
Exactly, you can get
charging is a whole nother level.
Yeah, you can, because Fyreslayers don't really have any way of kind of small, fast units to get over powerful Overwatch, so this is one way of doing it. It's also... a lot of people are like, oh, you're facing Hearthguard, just ignore them. That's how you deal with them. Well, you can't now because they're going to be charging in your turn.
Yeah.
And Grimnir's Vengeance, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that unit's melee weapon. Again, huge. Sending Hearthguard to 3 damage apiece, or even Volkites more so to 2 damage apiece, is really big. It allows your Volkites, which traditionally were quite naff in combat, to actually have quite a bit of punch to them.
Did you mention something about ward? Because
yeah, I said that's not true. Only Hearthguard. I meant that Hearthguard have a ward, and you know, a 6-up ward isn't that great compared to the rest of them. That's what I was meaning, Deathu. But if you're wanting to do something defensive, then it's definitely something there that can be done. So just something to keep in mind. I was just going to say, one of the powerful things about this is the fact all of this stacks. If you had theoretically 4 Flamekeepers next to a Fyreslayer model that dies, all 4 of them get to add 1. But I mean, all 4 of them get to add 1 to their dice. So of those 4, you still only need 5 Fyreslayers to die for them to get to their max.
I think that's the whole point, really, with this one. If you look at it in the context of a single model and say, I need 5 guys to die before I can activate anything, it feels quite painful to do that. But what about if 5 guys die and you can activate 2 things?
Yeah,
what about if 5 guys 5 and you can activate 3 things? And that's and at 80 points,
and at 80 points you can really kind of focus in on that. I mean, I could see taking, you know, like 3 of them, Runefather and Magmadroth, and 2 Rune Smiters, and that being your 6 heroes. You know, Fyreslayers have always worked with a lot of mini heroes, and him being at 80 points is huge for the buffs that he gives. You can even to the point of bringing a unit up from the tunnel, trying to roll that 9-inch charge, failing with the reroll, and then going, oh, okay, well, I'm going to use Grimnir's Resolve to charge in the combat phase anyway, and basically get another reroll. So,
well, that's the whole thing. It's all about positioning. It's all about, but that has always been the case with Fyreslayers.
Yeah.
It's all about keeping your heroes close. You've needed to, because that's how their ward mechanic worked. That's how their boost mechanic worked.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a Fyreslayer, you're already used to being, you know, hyper-focused. Where are my heroes? Where are my units?
Yep, definitely.
So the playstyle's not changed.
No.
But options available to you within that playstyle have just got, you know, much better from my perspective. And I think it is being really smart about realising what's my opponent's target prioritization and where do I need this Flamekeeper? Yeah. You know, I know my opponent's got to kill those guys. So my Flamekeeper's going to be over there making sure I get something from them. Yeah. You know, so you're definitely going to be using run because you're going to be trying to get your Flamekeeper close to units. You know, you want to get your Flamekeeper close enough to pick up deaths from Overwatch. You know, if you're going in against a really tough shooting army, that Flamekeeper needs to be up there.
Exactly. You know, you're charging Sentinels or whatever. You send 15 Hearthguard in, 5 of them die from the Overwatch. Great, now they're +1 damage and they've just eradicated your unit. It's leveraging things that your opponent can do to kill you to your favour.
Yeah.
And that's what's really bad. And at 80 points, he's insane. It's amazing.
Is he? I mean, this is the whole thing. Is he better than the Idoneth Deepkin character? No, I think they're completely different. And he's 80 points versus 110 points. There's a 30 points different here.
And that's I mean, at 80 points, he's still 5 wounds to the 4-up save, which is big.
He is, but he is also 5-up wounds. 5 wounds with a 4-up.
I mean, normally you're paying like 120, 140 points for a 5 wounds 4-up save hero. So to be paying 80 points for that, that's really good.
And again, all in the context of saying this is a playstyle that Fyreslayers have always had.
Lots of small support heroes.
But now you've got, small support hero buffs, basically. I mean, saying that, the Rune Suns on Magmadroth, you know they're one of my favourites. You see my Magmadroth lists all the time. I like to move around with that. But outside of that, I think this guy definitely gets, from my perspective, is definitely going to be making the table for me, for sure. The Idoneth Deepkin Thrall play, absolutely, it's going to be making the table. I've always enjoyed taking Thralls. I think Thralls are like...
they make Thralls... quite worth it now.
Sorry, Adam Roberts just said Fyreslayers love dying. It's a very thematic scroll.
Exactly. Leveraging, you know, they all have death O's and stuff like that. Yeah. Somebody's saying in the fluff he's a priest. It's weird that he's not a priest. Yeah, I mean, they are all priests of some description, but he doesn't actively pray for things to happen. He uses runes instead of prayers.
So he doesn't get the priest keyword.
It's to differentiate
I mean, if he had the priest keyword, then you'd be bumping him up the points value, and I think I'm actually glad he's not got it, because that makes him cheap, which makes him playable.
Yeah.
If he had the priest keyword, I wouldn't want to be using those priest abilities anyway. Probably not. No, because I wouldn't want to stack as many of them. But now at 80 points, the option's there.
Yeah, no.
I can definitely see 2. I can see me going 3. Would I go 6?
No,
you know
I don't think 6
I mean,
is worth
it's
it.
kind of doable, you know, with a bunch of Hearthguard.
Well, this is the thing,
like
with the new Hearthguard Berserkers, I think you're going to need Magmadross, as we'll see soon. But I could definitely see lists with Runefather or Magmadross, 2 Rune Smarters or Magmadross, and 3 Flamekeepers with them.
Okay, you know, short on time, no pun intended. Let's get into the rest of the War Scrolls. Look at that. Oh, did you see that? That was like a dramatic reveal as the camera tried to focus in on these things. Let's talk about the changes in each of the War Scrolls, because there's a fair set of them, isn't there? Oh, dramatic release again.
Yeah.
Okay, Magma Pike.
These are actually really interesting. So these guys...
Oh, let's get the first one out of the way. Force 4's on the throwing axe. Yeah? All Fyreslayers have gone to Force 4. Win-win, finally.
Yeah.
I honestly, playing Fyreslayers, I didn't bother rolling for the axes. And I know that sounds lazy, but I'd rather the game move forward than roll 400 dice and get 1 win.
You get like 1 or 2 wins, yeah.
Okay.
18-inch range on the Magma Pipes. Now, forced to hit 3 wound. They're not going to be doing that much damage. But that's not what they're there for. They're there for their molten rock bolts, which used to only affect monsters. So you used to, like, if you do, they used to get +1 damage against monsters. They've lost that, so they're less of a monster hunter. But then on like a 4-up, you would like reduce their move characteristic by a bit. Now, every unmodified hit roll for a shooting attack of 6 reduces the move characteristic of the target unit by 1 inch. You cannot make the move characteristic go below half. I think this is really big because you can now target non-monsters, which is the big thing. You can target hordes and stuff like that to try and slow down the hordes. And when you're a slow army and you're racing to try and get to the objectives, it might be quite good that you can slow opponents down from being able to get over to objectives. Or even slowing down support characters, so that as the big blobs move forward, the support characters are no longer in range to deliver their buffs and stuff like that. So I think whilst they've lost their bodyguard rule as well, which is sad. I would have quite liked them to have that, but they've lost that. But I think they've gained tactical flexibility in other areas.
Losing the bodyguard rule is a kick in the team for the Flamekeeper, though.
Yeah,
I have to say, because I could see 5 of these guys around the Flamekeeper. And you've got the bodyguard rule, and it kind of would have been sweet. You lose that, the Flamekeeper is susceptible to shooting attacks. I mean, I know you've still got the -1 to hit, and blah, 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 but, you know, it's still there, isn't it? Okay, so, you know, tricky. DJ the Lucky One, the units have got new War Scrolls too.
So
yes, that's true.
So the units included in the box have new War Scrolls, so...
Yeah, and no doubt a precursor to what we're going to see in the book.
Yeah.
Whether we see these change between now and the book, who knows? Probably not.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hearthguard Berserkers.
Right, Hearthguard Berserkers, they haven't changed that much. I mean, 4s on the throwing axes. The only thing is their duty unto death is now wholly within 9 of a friendly Fyreslayer hero, which means you have to be a lot more clever about your positioning.
Super tight.
Super tight. This is why I'm saying I think Magmadroths now have a place, because Magmadroths have the speed to keep up with them, and you don't mind. They have the bigger base, and you don't mind charging Magmadroths into combat.
Yeah.
You know, you used to not want to charge in your, what are they called? Your Rune Smarters into combat because they would die and just crumple. But now you don't mind throwing a Magmadroth in. So you bring up 15 Hearthguard with the priest. You charge them in, and now you've got the Magmadroth with the faster move that's already up there with them.
Yeah, I think you're onto a solid point. The other point is we've not seen the Magmadroth War Scroll. You know, there will be, when the new book comes out, let's see what they do with Magmadroths.
Let's see what Magmadroths do.
You know, let's hope they make them a little bit more survivable. That is always my key issue with Magmadroths. They've got that really interesting mechanic of hurting people when they die.
14 wounds.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Maybe they're safe.
Your 14 wounds are quite fast.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they don't have the ward because they have the bleed.
Okay, moving on. Smouldering braziers. Oh, sorry, you've covered that. Yeah.
That's still there. Which, I mean, I used to always be a big old broadaxe fan, but now I think the Smouldering Braziers might be quite good with save stacking and stuff like that. So
yeah.
People saying the support heroes might just get shot. Yeah, I mean, that is always a danger. So you're going to have to think about terrain and placement and line of sight now. But that's why the magma drops are there, to keep the ward on your berserkers now. You're not just going to be running like foot slogging.
I mean, I mentioned it. Target prioritization. Make your opponent shoot other stuff.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know,
I don't know, is the average player really going to sink an entire unit of 520-point sentinels into a 80-point hero, or are they just going to keep peppering the berserkers?
Yeah,
you know, like,
especially if those berserkers are bearing down on them, or if you've brought something up in their backfield to allow you to move those models forward. It's always the challenge. 5-point heroes are always faced with that. I mean, even, to a degree, even the ones with wards, because there's so many mortal wounds available.
Yeah.
You know, any small wounded character, even on a 5-up ward, can easily get dismissed from the table. It's making sure your opponent's too busy to deal with them with other things. You know, look around the eyes. Volkite Berserkers, Blazer Sling Shield. So we've got separate war scrolls now for each one.
We have separate war scrolls between shielded and double axes. So shielded have a base 4-up save now, which means they can go to 3-up with all that defense, which is really good. Boop, boop. But apart from that, I don't think anything's changed.
No.
Blader's Sling Shield's still the same. Add on to charge rolls, add on to attack, fight before they die. Yeah, no. Okay. Nothing's changed with them apart from all that.
Double hand axes.
Oh wait, no, one thing has changed.
Sorry,
You're now 1 attack with hand axes.
Ooh. What, with the hand axe? Oh, it's 1 attack.
Ooh, don't like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I hadn't noticed that actually. Ouch.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe the double axes. You get 3 attacks with them on the charge with the double axes. I think the double axes will be the way to go now.
No surprise. Hardly anybody built them.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have 30 of them built.
Yeah. Sorry, point out the attacks. They've got 1 attack. Yeah. Okay. So shielded dudes are basically in the bin now. You might as well just take the double axes.
The save's good though, isn't it? But then again, if you're taking the whatever his name is now,
give 6 wards.
You almost want them to die anyway.
Yeah.
You want to lose some models, so why not go with these? These are your sacrificial models that you throw in to do some damage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're gonna because they have the fight before they die. They're a good way of racking up death points for the Flamekeeper, because you kind of, whilst they die in combat, you're still getting a round of attacks in them, so they can still do what they need to do.
Yeah, exactly. I also think, going through these war scrolls, it's crazy to almost judge these war scrolls too much without the context of a book. I can't see it. You know, we've got this much of a release so far. At some point, we're going to see. What are you looking for? Sorry. At some point, we're going to see a book, and we'll see the war scrolls then in the context of a new book.
Yeah. Hearthguard is still 100. Hearthguard Berserkers are 135 now, which isn't too.
Do you want to bring that onto the screen? We can do that. Yeah, while we're here. Okay. So with the Thrallmaster in at 110, the Alapex 165, Thralls at 130, the Reavers at 170, the Flamekeeper at 80, that's what we've been talking about, Auric Halfguard 120, Berserkers 135, Volkite Berserkers with hand axes 160, and Sling Shields 170. Really? Would you pay 10 points more for the Sling Shields?
No, I wouldn't. That's, even saying that, that's kind of put me towards the double axe variant.
Yeah. Fyreslayer Priest.
That's big, actually. Yeah, it used to just be the weird priest that nobody took, but now
it's just a priest.
Berserk. The what's he called? The Rune Smiter. That works.
Yeah. Okay.
In
next with the Idoneth Deepkin. Couple of comments in here, and I'm seeing both sides of this. I'm seeing people who have been quite positive about some of the Fyreslayer's changes. I'm seeing a lot of negativity as well.
I mean, guys, you're looking at a bunch of war scrolls without the books. We know books are coming, so don't get angry about things when we haven't seen the entire thing.
Yeah, by the time anybody's really got any gameplay under the backup for these ones. No doubt there'll be an announcement.
And exactly, that's the thing, don't make judgments without playing them, because they might surprise you. You might be throwing, for 170 points, having, 20 wounds on a 3-up save. It's not bad, throwing them onto objectives.
I mean, the way I'm looking at it, like I say, from the Volkite Berserker's point of view, is they're in my army to, inconvenience and die and screen. My half guard are there to do the damage.
Exactly,
so
the half guard do the damage.
The loss of the attack for that unit, it is a pain, but at the same time...
Who took Volkites anyway?
Yeah.
Everybody just took half guards, and your half guard haven't changed that much. Okay, it's wholly within 9, start bringing magma
back in Age of Sigmar 1, 90 Volkites.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. I remember that. AOS 1 with 4 upward Volkites.
People have definitely got them. Thrallmaster we've covered. Thralls?
2-inch range weapons now, so running bigger blobs of Namartai Thralls is quite good, and their sweeping bows gets +1 damage against 3 or more wounds instead of 4 or more.
It's huge. It is good. I don't deny that as an Idoneth Deepkin player as well. I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here.
I could definitely see lists with like a Leviathan and 2 units of 20 Thralls with the soul renders in the one that gives you like 6 Thralls back a turn, because I think that's just going to be huge. And with the one Thrallmaster buffing both units is going to be really good.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with how the Thralls look.
Quick shout out to a couple of people in the chat. We got DJ the Lucky One, Jose, and Kenny Lull, all contributing a ton of comments to the chat. So thank you very much. And if I've missed someone, David Ellis is in there as well. It's good to see the chat on one of these live reviews. Maybe we should do these things live more often. Moving on from Frost.
130 points for them as well.
130 points.
I mean, they're super flimsy, but they're really good.
Loads of them. Alapexes, everybody loves the Alapex.
Yeah, but they're 165 points now.
Yeah.
They were 125. They've
no longer babies. They were babies at 125.
They were
baby
amazing.
What do you want to say about the profile?
Okay, so the one thing that's changed for them is the fact that...
No, sorry, you carry on.
Okay. Well, the big thing that's changed for the Sharks is they've now become a gun platform, because their harpoon launcher is now D3 damage, which is really, really cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing loads of attacks from range, which is more likely to trigger your bloodthirsty predators. They have their weird shiver rule, where they're like, if they have 2 or more models in a unit, they're 3-inch horizontally of at least one other model instead of 1-inch. So they kind of have the dragon rule. So you can really use that to take bigger units of sharks to like screen out and stuff. They were 8 wounds before, so they've gone to 10 wounds. I'm not sure whether that's taken them over the +1 save from the Leviathan, unfortunately. But hey, I'll live with the extra 2 wounds and the D3 damage on the guns.
You'll live with it, yeah?
I'll live with it.
How many of those baby sharks are you taking?
Well, we've got 5 now, and I'm probably going to take 5.
There's room for 5. Is there room for more? That's the question. Reavers. Hallelujah.
Reavers.
Hallelujah.
Good.
Hallelujah. 3s to hit.
3s and 3s -1 damage. So they've lost their weird...
I don't care.
They've lost their weird double fire mechanisms, which was just naff when they were like 4s and 4s with no rend, 1 damage, and it was just dreadful. But now they're really good. 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 3 3s, -1 damage, +1 to hit if the target is within 9. Which is pretty cool. So they're going to be 3s and 3s on Overwatch. 8-inch move. Super fast. I like them.
Somebody did comment that the Alapex, of course, has changed yet again from the Marathi book. We've seen a lot of changes in this book. I'm looking forward to hopefully a new book where everything gets consolidated back down again. But super happy.
Gringer, no, it's not. Okay, they have been nerfed in the fact that they don't get +1 save, but D3 damage on the harpoons is insane, so you can't kind of say it's a nerf when they're getting 4 shots at like -1 D3 damage.
If it was one attack that had gone from live,
yeah, exactly.
D3, but D3
going
on
from
4
one
shots.
like just the math on that's insane. If you can take like 4 or 5 of them, it's crazy damage output before they even charge in and get the -2 Rend 2 damage attacks.
Exactly. And how many can you have in a unit? Is it 2 in a unit?
You can have 2.
2 in a unit.
Although, like, there's something interesting that says if the unit has 2 or more models, so take that for whatever. Maybe something's gonna change. Who knows? But at the minute, it's only 2 because of reinforcements.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Well spotted, Jack. I wonder if anybody else has picked up on that. Okay, then. So
well, I did see it online, so somebody had pointed
out. Well, there you go. Well done online.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to
Reavers
cover?
are 170 points, so they're quite expensive, and I don't know. They're pretty good.
Yeah, and just in case again, somebody said, "Can I just have the screen, the points again?" There you go. There's the points.
Jade Earthy, just I can see Idoneth being like really good, just putting like turtles out front to absorb damage, and then just having like 5 sharks machine gunning from the back of the table, just annihilating it. Because people are like, oh, it's only -1 Rend D3 damage. Yeah, but they're -2 Rend in combat, so you move forward, you shoot at something like sentinels or bow snakes at the back of the table, because it's a 24-inch range with a 14-inch move, and then you charge in and do a bunch of damage in combat.
24-inch range and 14-inch move is where the insanity lies, isn't it? Have they always been 10 wounds?
No, they were 8 wounds.
They were 8
now
wounds,
they've gone to 10. So you can't get the +1 save from the turtle, but what are you gonna do?
But you can also have all that defense.
Yeah, exactly. So it's alright.
So there's ways that
and I think they still benefit from cover. I think so. That's okay.
David Ellis didn't spot that. Some conclave getting battle line Alapex. Who knows? Who knows? Sharknado, anyone? Sharknado. And then thank you from Kenny. Battle line Shark. Do. Sorry. No. We started the shark song now.
Just an entire army of Alapexes would be amazing.
Guys, I think we've covered the box at that. There's some nice fluff. I always enjoy the story. I'm not going to... The problem is I like to cover the lore, but at the same time, it then spoils it. Get the box, read it. The lore is interesting. I do think it highlights the brutality and the cold, fishy heartiness of the deep Idoneth Deepkin, who go, oh, look at those guys in a real boatload of trouble, let's go grab their souls before
they're pretty evil.
Before the Chaos Gods grab their souls.
But it's not their fault, is it? It's Teclis's fault. It's all Teclis's fault. For making
the recipe wrong, didn't he?
Added too much sugar.
No, they'd be sweet if that was the case. They'd be like lemon juice, I think.
Yeah,
made them a bit bitter. There you go. We're starting to ramble now. Very excited for some variety in rules for my Fyreslayers, especially since the new models in the Pipe Dream since release. We can only hope, can't we? There's no allegiance abilities for the faction. No, there isn't. So still using the old book at the minute, so we'll have to wait. It might be like a month later normally. I think that's about how long you wait, but just some new stuff to play. I just can't see how they're going to do a box set with those two factions and the box armor in the corner. Again, so remember, you're looking at new War Scrolls from a new book when you haven't seen the rest of the book yet. So everything could change to make all of this actually really good, and it all makes sense when it comes out. So just hold your judgment until the books come out and we can actually see why these changes have been made. Yeah, so it's this quote here, look. These Fyreslayers must realise their doom with every passing day. Their crumbling fortress slides closer to the abyss. It might take 10 seasons or 1,000, but one day Ryftmar will collapse into the raging ocean and the souls of its people will be condemned to the depths. Why delay the inevitable? Why allow such precious bounty to be wasted? Let's grant them a swift death with our blades and reap their living essence for the betterment of all Idoneth. There you go. I mean, made sense. Literally Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just they're gonna die anyway. Let's just hurry it up, and at least we get something out of it. That's what matters. Well, great bunch in the chat there. There was Gringar as well. Sorry, I didn't mention you earlier as well. Thank you for contributing. A great bunch of you in the chat. We've really enjoyed you coming along for that show, and we will see you probably on the Battle Report. The reason those models are built is they're going to get painted, so we were probably going to do Idoneth. Seeing as though you're practicing Idoneth at the moment anyway, we're probably going to do a Idoneth versus Fyreslayer Battle Report next week. Will be the plan, which will go live to YouTube, maybe to patrons. We'll see as we go along. And oh, by the way, just while I'm here, welcome to our new patrons. We had a couple of new patrons this week as well, so thank you very much. And I've not quite added you to the credits yet, but you will get credited with a shout out in the next show. Right, we'll see you all, and thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Looking forward to it.
See ya.
Cheers, guys.